The world of social media is often like a soap opera. Love stories and rivalries, last-minute script changes, and sudden deaths. One network trying to reset the system is Bluesky. Spun out of Twitter, now known as X, it's been enjoying a recent surge in users thanks to the US presidential election. Last November, whilst X lost over 100,000 users overnight, growth at Bluesky reportedly skyrocketed with a 500% increase in daily usage. I sat down with the boss to find out more.
I think a lot of people are just ready for something different. Even if they were dissatisfied, they were hesitant to move up until they realized all at once, okay, like maybe this is a moment where everybody else is all deciding at the same time that we're done with this. And so that's why a lot of people start moving at once. Like once it starts trending, it gets this momentum, sort of like a snowball rolling down a mountain.
Bluesky is uniquely decentralized, meaning members can host their data on servers other than those owned by the company.
The core philosophy behind Bluesky is that no single person should control all the speech on a social network. At the end of the day, you can't rely on one person. Like even me, we don't want you to have to trust me. That's the goal.
Now, I've heard you say that Bluesky is billionaire-proof. What do you mean by that?
The structure of society reflects the form of its communication. And so if you have a communications platform where everyone is getting their news, this is how they make sense of the world, and it's just controlled by one person, then you're going to see that affect society at a large scale. A lot of social networks have leaders that imagine themselves as, monarchs of this new empire. I am the Caesar of this new empire that controls the speech of billions of people, and that's not the world we want to live in.
Mark Zuckerberg is one of the leaders Jay is referring to, who wore a t-shirt last year with the Latin phrase "aut Zuck aut nihil," translating to Zuck or nothing, a play on the phrase Caesar or nothing. In response, at South by Southwest in Texas, Jay wore a very similar shirt which read, "A world without Caesars."
I made this joke a few months ago in Slack, and then the team ran with it, and they found somebody to make the shirt, and I decided to wear it. It was a good joke.
What are your feelings towards him?
I mean, I have nothing personal against him. I think that he's run a company really efficiently, but I think that the whole paradigm of, I am a global monarch of a large social media empire is outdated and wrong. It's not the right way forward. I think that the right way forward is the open principles of the early web and social networks that give users more control.
Bluesky is intended to be highly customizable. Its algorithms and content moderation can be dictated by users themselves.
People really want less toxic social experiences, and that means having a good moderator. And we don't necessarily think that we're always going to be the ones to get it right, which is why we have an open ecosystem, where if you think that we're getting it wrong, you can build your own version. But every social space needs to run according to some rules, and so that's why we have foundational moderation policies, which say these are the terms of sort of the sandbox that you can build on top of.
But as you continue to grow, how are you going to be across everything?
Yeah, it's a hard problem. Moderation always is, but it's important, and people feeling safe online is important, and so we've invested in it and continue to invest in it. We also use some automation, but I don't think you can ever replace the role of human judgment. And so there's a human in the loop.
With only 21 staff but 34 million users, the company is looking at different ways to keep the lights on, including subscription fees.
The way advertising is played out with social is a bit like, when a country discovers oil and then that's all that they go in on because it's so lucrative and it sort of turns the entire company into an ad engine. The whole timeline is just about serving you ads. So we don't want to go down that path.
Will you consider running advertising in the future?
I think that when ads work their way in, they might even come from some other corner of the network because we don't control every app out there, we don't control every timeline out there, and we'll see how it plays out.
How personal is this work to you?
Very important, very personal.
Why?
Well, I started off my career as a digital policy activist. I saw that companies like Facebook were accumulating a lot of power, and over the long run, this kind of control is not good for society. When I got into tech, I wrote down on a note card for myself, my mission was to expand empowerment tech. I want to build technology that gives people more control over their lives online, because I think that technology affects the way that society evolves.
Whilst Bluesky's collective heart may be in the right place now, we'll have to wait and see what the future holds for this blue butterfly.